Michigan Stadium is ready to explode as a new era in maize and blue football is moments away from beginning. Brady Hoke will follow his Wolverines onto the field for his first game as the head coach of this program. Will Hoke be the man to return Michigan to its former glory? He takes the first on-field step today as the Wolverines host Western Michigan on a very warm day in Ann Arbor.
It's going to be fantastic. I believe in Al Borges, the offensive coordinator, one of the better, brighter minds in college football. Been around a long time. You can't teach 4-3 speed. He's much more accurate than people believe him to be. Now, it's going to be a learning transition, and there'll be a part of the playbook that he picks up each week as he goes along. But Denard Robinson is a fantastic person and a heck of a football player. We'll see today that this offense, which wasn't lacking, and they were good in the past, we'll see it continues the beat.
Brady Hoke was not the first choice of some Michigan football fans, but his words at his introductory press conference almost 8 months ago won a lot of them over.
And I'm very pleased and proud to introduce the head football coach at the University of Michigan, Brady Hoke.
We would have walked to the University of Michigan. This is about a football program. This is about a team and 42 Big Ten championships. We're going to have a foundation of toughness. Go Blues.
Said he would have walked here from San Diego to take this job. $109,000 plus at the Big House on a hot, hot day. Who would have believed we are 90 and climbing in September at Michigan?
Follows me around, being from Texas, I guess it make me feel welcome.
Well, the one thing that doesn't follow you around in Texas is rain, and we expect it to be coming. Bill Cubitt, the head coach at Western Michigan. He has the Broncos scheduled to be a contender in the MAC this year. A proven offensive system that has always gotten big plays out of the passing game, and he certainly has a passing game to threaten that Michigan defense.
Mike, the last time you and I were in the booth was down at the Gator Bowl, and we watched this Michigan defense that was defenseless.
That was a very tough thing to watch, too. And defenseless is almost a perfect word for it. Michigan won the toss, deferred to the second half. So Western Michigan will get the ball first. The freshman from San Diego, Matt Weil, will kick it off. Tremendous place kicker in high school. Dervon Wallace is deep, along with Aaron Winchester, the converted running back who will be a starter on defense at the corner. We are underway in the Brady Hoke era. Wallace, 25, 26-yard line. They will start from there. The Broncos offense relies on quarterback Alex Carter. He threw for over 3,300 yards a season ago as a sophomore with 30 touchdown passes and was especially good in the second half of the season. 19 scoring passes, only 3 interceptions. Carter comes out throwing, completes the first pass across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Here's our Chick-fil-A impact player.
Well, if they have time to throw the ball, Jordan White is a guy on the outside. You see the numbers from last season with 10 touchdowns. Jordan White, Tevin Drake, these players are outstanding when they get the ball in space. But will they have time? Because you just saw Mike Martin on that play there hit the quarterback Carter as he let go of the football.
Drake had a great finish to last year. This is complete to Caleb Ravenel, who missed all last year with a groin injury. Carter, very good as a quarterback, completed better than 60% of his tosses a year ago. It's going to be third and less than a yard. And you see extensive personnel changes. They'll go to a power eye with Antoine Scriven, the deep man. Scriven will get the carry and moves the pile enough for a first down. Kenny Demmons, the middle linebacker, was in on the stop. This is a Michigan defense that finished 110th last year. That's out of 120 teams.
Well, this Western Michigan offensive line, they have enough beef up top in blocking to present a big challenge to Michigan's front four. They're going to get pushed around a little bit today. They're going to have to be moving. They're going to have to use their hands and get off blocks.
Greg Madison, the new defensive coordinator, he comes from the Baltimore Ravens, said it was the only college job he would take to leave the NFL. Another little swing pass. This one gets out to Jordan White, who is now in his 6th year of eligibility. There are some people who say, best 6 years of my life was college. He can actually say it and mean it.
Well, a guy today who'll be trying to slow down Greg Madison. The receivers is Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator. He's a very brilliant guy. We'll talk about him throughout the afternoon.
They had quads to the right this time, and it's a quarterback draw. Ryan Van Bergen makes the tackle. Sort of a diamond formation to the right side, tried to cross him up and run. The one thing that this Western Michigan offensive line is doing, they lost all 3 of their interior linemen to graduation. Then they lost the next 3 to injury. So they're working with a lot of guys who didn't expect to play that much. Both guards are junior college transfers. And I guarantee you they never played in front of 109,000 in any of their junior college games. That's complete to Robert Arnheim, highly regarded high school quarterback who converted to wide receiver in Western Michigan, moving the ball on this opening drive.
And you see moving the tempo. You've got a defense, the first time they've been under the gun in the system they're in and trying to get lined up. You've got an experienced quarterback who's out there directing an up-pace, up-tempo offense right now.
Under Greg Robinson, they had that odd stack defense. Now they're back to more of a traditional scheme. Carter throws in the flat again, and there is a big shot coming up from the corner. Troy Woolfolk. Woolfolk missed most of last year with an ankle injury.
Boy, they're glad to get Woolfolk back, and what he brings to this secondary and the ability to come up and make plays like that, the leadership that Woolfolk brings to the secondary. Last year, a much maligned unit.
And deservedly so. They didn't get many of those kind of hits.
No, not much kissing going on like that last year.
Carter 5 for 5 so far. Go on the running game straight up the middle to Tevin Drake. And Drake, who finished the season so strongly with a couple of 100-yard games, was following Anthony Parker, who made a big hole for him on the left side.
Now, Anthony Parker has 35 career starts, so he's an experienced player up front. He's a senior. He's down the line. But the 2 junior college guards, they're holding their water. They're doing a good job up front.
Carter complete again. That's going to be for a couple of yards down to the 23-yard line, and holding their own for those JUCO guards. If they hold their own, that's a win.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's what, as you analyze this game coming in, you knew that Western Michigan had the skill players and the quarterback capable of making it a really good game if the offensive line could come together and give them time to throw the football.
So far, so good. Drake is the deep man in the eye. Carter looks to be changing the play. Tevin Drake, another nice hole up the middle, then grabbed by an ankle and dragged down, and that could have been a big play. And it was the middle linebacker again, Kenny Demmons.
I think right now, if you're Michigan's defense and Greg Madison, he's sitting there thinking, look, we're bending. Let's don't break on this inaugural drive underneath my leadership. Let's just make sure we can get through the first several snaps without having any big plays allowed.
This is the 11th play of the opening drive. Blitz coming. Carter with time and completes it to Jordan White. There was a concern that Jordan White had Juan Nunez on the other side of him last year. That was one of the reasons he was so successful. There is nobody as good as Nunez yet over there, but White has found a way to get open.
Well, I tell you what I've noticed, and you could see this immediately watching Alex Carter throw the football, that he has the athleticism and the arm strength to get it done. Now he's showing you that he's got the wisdom. He understands where the ball's supposed to go, and it's coming out on time. Jordan White, that was a fantastic catch.
Drake, just a couple. White was on the Biletnikoff list a year ago, and you don't get many guys on the Biletnikoff list out of the MAC, but he certainly earned it. I mean, the numbers, 94 catches for 1,378 yards. That was 5th best in the country. And now they'll go with 5 wide receivers. Eric Monette, number 86, who they have high hopes for, is checked in. The former walk-on who has really good hands. Carter to the 1. A perfect strike to Ravenel, who's knocked out of bounds by Avery.
Well, this is a blown coverage in the secondary. Michigan had one guy covering 2. Look out up top, and before the snap of the football, nobody at Michigan could get over there in time. And there's that experience of Carter taking advantage of it, seeing it, getting the ball out there immediately.
Well, you saw Carvin Johnson, number 13, with a late break to get out there. Scriven is now the deep man, short yardage back. Almost fumbled that handoff, it appeared. Looked like Carter wanted to give it to Scriven and couldn't do it. And Jabril Black was in there for Michigan. That'd been a tough way to end a series that looked this good, to fumble at the 1.
Yeah, and I like going for it. They're in the big house.
15-play drive. Touchdown. Antoine Scriven. And what a start for the Broncos of Western Michigan.
Now the power football up front, and again, this offensive line in the opening series surely has given comfort and peace to Bill Cubitt and that staff, that they now know that they have a chance up front to get the game done.
Scriven was, or rather Carver was perfect on that drive, hit all 8 of his passes. Potter for the extra point. And Western Michigan silences 109,000 fans here at the Big House. Not the start the new coach was looking for. A 15-play, 74-yard drive that takes 7 minutes and 11 seconds after the opening kickoff will quiet 109,000 people here at the Big House. And that's what Western Michigan was able to do, to take a 7-0 lead. They took almost half the first quarter clock away. But Denard Robinson waiting in the wings, the most dynamic player in college football.
Certainly athletic-wise, when you talk about that. I mean, we saw him here 2 years ago in his inaugural game, first play. He bobbles the snap, picks it up, and ran 43 yards for a touchdown.
Served notice, didn't he?
Yeah, it was like, okay, so that's why they're talking about this young man.
John Potter to kick it away. Kelvin Brady, the former basketball player, 2-sport star, waits, takes it at the 4. up the middle and upended at the 24-yard line. Thanks to our friends at EA Sports, we'll take a look at the keys to the game with the James game.
Well, here's what we're trying to do is give you something to follow along. Here's the pocket presence that we're talking about with Al Borges. 1, 2, the ball was delivered on time. Now this year, it's going to be 1, 2, not there, it's legs. Al Borges, when he was at San Diego State, taught Ryan Lindley, a very good quarterback there, 1, 2, 3, then throw it away. Now it's 1, 2, legs, run, use your athleticism.
The running back is Toussaint, number 28. Plan run for Robinson. 4-3 speed. His feet went out from under him. He's down at the 35-yard line. Lewis Toller made the tackle. Gain of 11. Remarkable numbers from the season ago. 2,570. As you see, with 1,702 rushing yards, that set an NCAA record for quarterbacks. He can take it to the house every single time he touches it. They want to limit the damage to his body, so they want to limit the number of carries this year. Have somebody else take part of the load. They hope it's Toussaint, who has it now for about 4. Desmond Bozeman, number 51, with the tackle. Let's take a look at today's Impact Players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Well, Al Borges, the OC, he wants to find one back, but he has 2. Fitz Toussaint gets the start today just because he's had a little bit better camp. Mike Shaw's going to get a lot of carries. They're looking for that one guy, so 2 equals 1 as we enter the season on defense. Mitch Zajac. Here's a guy who rides a Harley Davidson, has a library with over 2,500 books in it. He may have to ride a Harley today to keep up with Denard Robinson.
You needed to match his speed. Robinson throwing out of the pro set and completes his first pass to Roy Roundtree, who caught 72 a year ago to lead the club.
So setting the table for you here on this Western Michigan defense. Their defensive line is the strength. Zajac's a good linebacker. The secondary is okay. They're not bad, but not a lot of depth. Has the most speed that they've had, they believe, in Cubitt's tenure here at Western Michigan.
One of those defensive players is Aaron Winchester, number 23, converted running back at corner. And straight up the middle goes Denard Robinson. Why do you want to limit his touches when he is such a dynamic player? Because he was unable to finish 10 games last year because he just gets beaten to a pulp during the course of a game. And we saw him in a t-shirt the other day when we talked to him. He's listed at 195 pounds. There's no way he's 195 pounds. He might be 175.
Maybe if he has a couple of 5-pound plates in each pocket.
That would get to 185. But he sure can play this game. Quick pass out to the flat to Jeremy Gallen. Gallen taken down at the 47-48-yard line, and the linebackers Johnny Simon and Mitch Zajac combined to make the stop.
Okay, so there's that speed at Western Michigan's defense. There's respect there. When you watch a football game and you first start out, you say, okay, do they first have the athletes capable of matching up? So the first few plays, you can see bodies running around, and they've got that part down. The execution, making sure you don't blow assignments, that's another part of the game.
Vincent Smith, number 2, is the new tailback. On 2nd and long. High formation. Smith plows ahead into Western Michigan territory. They'll spot it at the 49-yard line. There is a fine line for Al Borges. You want Denard Robinson to have the ball so badly, and yet you're trying to limit his touches. You got to pick your spots, but boy, you'd have an itchy trigger finger, wouldn't you?
You only got 12 guaranteed dates out here with him, so let him dance when the music starts.
It's like being addicted to chocolate and it's Valentine's Day. There's Robinson playing quarterback draw. Picking his way through the defense down to the 40. Nice block by Patrick Omame. This is a total transition for the offensive line as well, isn't it?
Yeah, watch Mark Hugie. It pulls and comes around. Omame comes around. He gets inside. This is where you've got that design run by your quarterback who gets lost behind those big bodies, and you get the push. You get the numbers going your way. You've got more blockers than you've got defenders on that side.
And they're making the transition from that zone blocking scheme that they used in the spread. Over the middle to the big tight end who took a whack, Kevin Coger. Made the stop, Doug Wiggins. The transfer from Miami unloaded on him, but Coger held on. And Coger's one of the guys that is thrilled that they have changed offenses because he's a tight end. He gets to play.
Well, he's been voted captain, and you're a captain and a leader when you make plays like that. That sends a message to the rest of your teammates. It's time to get it going. Woo.
Keep it on the ground again with Toussaint. And just like Western Michigan, Michigan very impressive on its opening drive.
Methodical, you know, not trying for the home run ball, really being patient here. Al Borges, he's feeling out this down. It's been both ways. Everybody talks about Denard Robinson. What's he going to adjust and do? Al Borges has had to do some tweaking. He's been in football a long time and a heck of a coordinator. So he's feeling out his new players under pressure.
It's the essence of coaching. Take what you have and mold it to your system. Robinson, quarterback draw. Every time he takes off, the defense is holding its breath. Anybody's going to see that. 10 plays, 52 yards so far on the drive, most of it coming from Robinson. Blitz coming. Robinson hangs in there, throws complete down to the 19-yard line.
Here's that old dilemma. We'll see.
Dilio made the catch.
That dilemma, 4 of 14 last year on field goals at Michigan. And when it's 4th and short in this territory right here, do you think there's a lingering effect here?
Well, it makes you wonder.
I think they're going for it, not because of last year. They're going for it because it's the right thing to do in this game at this point.
I think they really believe they can make a yard. Toussaint straight up the middle, power football. And 109,000 fans recognize that.
David Mulk, the center up front, he's the leader of them. They've got a good offensive line, although Ricky Barnum is not at left guard in this game today. Michael Schofield, who's backing up the left tackle, he's pulling over at left guard now, doing his job for the afternoon. So that's the power. That's that Michigan way of knowing it's time to get up in there. Let's go, fellas.
Barnum, one of 3 players who was suspended for the day for violating a team rule. And there's that offensive line that is expected to open up those holes. With more emphasis on the running back. Toussaint again, hitting his tracks, may have lost a yard. Good defensive play by the left tackle, Trevante Bowles, who lost 20 pounds this year. Really did a great job with his body in the weight room and changing his diet, and it's made him much quicker. Second down, 11 yards to go. Robinson from the gun over the middle, complete inside the 5. Kelvin Brady. First down, Michigan. Robinson looked like a pocket passer that time, didn't he?
I think he's looked like a quarterback this entire drive. A nice job of execution by the entire unit on the field. It's a well-played first quarter by both offenses.
Each team has had the ball once in the first quarter, and the quarter is over. They think this guy's got a shot at the 4th. Denard Robinson. Certainly one of the early season favorites. First and goal, Wolverines. Toussaint. Turn back just inside the 1. Mitch Zajac, the middle linebacker, led the way.
Big Patrick Omame, he tried to pull around and get up in there and was stonewalled. And when you see that kind of resistance, again, that's that strong defensive line there Bill Cubitt has. I mean, they got inside the hole and stuffed it up.
Craig, this will be the 16th play of this drive. This is amazing to watch. Inside the 1, Toussaint, the running back, behind Robinson. Toussaint again. Touchdown.
Well, again, this is that offensive line. It's just got to get its push. I always hear people on the offensive line coaching staff-wise say, score with your man, and your other guy carrying the ball scores. And you just got to get beneath them and run them out of there. And what was that, 16, 17 play drive?
16 plays, 8 minutes and 33 seconds after Western Michigan went 74 yards in 7 minutes and 11 seconds. Brendan Gibbons for the point after. And we're tied at 7 at the Big House. It has been a ball control game for both clubs. Brady Hoke has his club back even. Jerry Jones Palace in Arlington, Texas.
Michigan alum, Heisman Trophy winner Desmond Howard there today on game day. Had a nice white suit on. You see, looked like he was
sharp.
He was good looking today, man. He had it going. Robert Griffin, last night's star player for Baylor, and that upset over TCU. He was on with them. What a nice young man he is.
And what a game that was. Wow.
And you know what? That's that kind of rivalry game that's under the radar in the nation. Most people don't know about it.
Sure.
But if you live in the Southwest, you know Baylor TCU has a long history.
Wallace and Winchester are deep. Wild to kick off from the 30. Wallace with a running start at the 8. Had a seam up the middle. Wallace burst out near the 45-yard line. Western Michigan will start from there after a 38-yard return back to the Big House in a minute. On the kickoff return, starting corner Troy Woolfolk was down on the field for quite a while. Limped off. And they're certainly going to need him against a guy like Alex Carter. And Carvin Johnson takes his place, number 13. Carter's been perfect so far. Ball is not hit the ground. Blitz coming. He's still perfect into Michigan territory at the 48. Robert, thanks very much. It's going to be obviously a busy day for you. It always is in the studio. And here goes Drake. Tevin Drake bursting through that Michigan defense down to the 25-yard line.
The result of the ground game being so good right now is because of the passing. Alex Carter is 9 of 9. They've got the balance going for them right now. And Tevin Drake is a big guy who has good vision getting down the field. This balance is putting pressure on Michigan's defense.
Good block on the last play by Clark Musman. And look at the quarterbacks. They've been perfect. Carter again, flanker screen, and that nearly blew up in their face. Ravenel was knocked down by Gordon. Janine, you can't change things overnight, and this defense was so porous in the last 3 years, really. They're going to have to be patient. For the end zone, Ravenel, a lot of contact, no flag, incomplete. Kenny Demmons was putting on pressure. J.T. Floyd one-on-one with Ravenel.
Well, did you see Alex Carter, though? He moved his running back over to the right side where he knew the pressure was coming from, got himself set up to have the one-on-one on the outside with Ravenel. This was an outstanding job of getting a play set up. And it's mutual hands going to each other there. They let it play through.
The first incompletion for Carter or either quarterback. 3rd and long. Zone blitz coming. The pass underneath. That's not going to get him much. And that's Monette. And that will force a field goal try.
This is a well-coached Western Michigan team. Very prepared to come into this ball game and have executed the plan.
John Potter will try from 38 yards. He was 10 of 12 a year ago. This is for the lead. And he missed it wide right. The ball hooked, but it looked like it hooked around the upright. So Potter, who was so accurate a year ago, can't pay this one off, and it just missed. About the only thing that has stopped either offense is the end zone so far. Vincent Smith will check in to the Michigan backfield. Denard Robinson in the shotgun. Throws underneath, and his tight end for a short gain, Kevin Koger.
Ball game. They've got to continue to be careful not to run past Denard Robinson.
Robinson didn't get past anybody that time, out on the corner to about the 28-yard line.
You know what I mean by that, Mike. I mean, this is a defensive lineman's nightmare going against a guy like Denard Robinson. If you rush too hard and aggressive, you run right past your responsibility.
You teach kids every day, every practice to be aggressive, and now you're telling them not so fast. Robinson looking for the first down. First deep pass of the day intended for Koger. He was covered beautifully man-to-man down the middle by Demetrius Petway. The free safety had him stride for stride.
So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, it worked here on this play. Let's watch the defensive line and the way that they, quote, rush the quarterback here. They're looking, they've got their hands on him, they're looking, they're staying their course. You see that? You see how they stay at home? They don't run past him. They didn't give him the legs option. They made him throw the ball.
So now they'll punt it away, and Weil comes on to kick. Jordan White is back. He stands at his own 31. Weil not really a punter, although he did punt in high school, but was really known for his place kicking abilities, and they're putting a lot on his plate right now.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
So they're back Michigan up 5. So after 2 sustained drives, both defenses got to stop. Low kick. Weil from the 41. White. Back to the Michigan 47-yard line. 11-yard return after a 35-yard punt. Alex Carter will get a chance to go back on offense when we return to Michigan. It has got to be brutal down there, and Janine, you know as well as we do that if guys are asking for water now, it may be too late. So we may see a lot of cramps before this one's over, just the way we did last night. 4-man front for Michigan. Carter on a quarterback draw.
Well, this was a key loss earlier for Michigan. Troy Wolfolk had to be helped off the field. And again, this is a guy who missed last year with his bad leg and was such a big positive addition coming in. He just went off on a cart. We'll find out more for you what that injury is if we can.
Missed last year with an ankle injury. His dad, of course, was an NFL player, really good running back. Carter again. Well, he's not going to confuse you and make you think he's Denard Robinson, but he can run.
He can run the football. That's a quarterback designed run right there, leading up in there. It's again, this is a numbers game. When you pull around that wing or slot and the H-back gets up in the hole, that's your lead fullback, and the quarterback, he can run. Carter, and as long as they maintain this, continue to put pressure on Michigan's defense.
3rd and inches. And they've got the first down as Scriven shows he can really do that short yardage roll. This is not good news to see him leave, but hopefully he'll be able to come back. First down for the Broncos of Western Michigan. Carter out in the flat. This one is complete to Darian Chance. Really good receiver out of the backfield, and it's a key. If you see Chance, they're probably going to throw him the ball. They're not putting him in there for nothing.
Very impressive performance today by Alex Carter. Both quarterbacks are efficient doing their job, but this Alex Carter's come in here and he's done what other teams at Western Michigan haven't been able to do against BCS type teams. They can throw the football today, and that's been a real negative for them in the past.
He threw for over 3,300 yards a year ago. They're going to whistle this play dead as they tried the delay to Drake.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 29, offense.
Is the guy guilty?
Second down.
Drake guilty of the infraction.
And you just look here. When you look at what Carter has done to this Michigan defense of getting it to the right person timely, and the touch on the throws that he has, very accurate, no mistakes, and having the ability to also run the football has continued to put pressure on that secondary at Michigan. There's no help up front, no pass rush coming into him.
Blitz coming, but they pick it up. Carter now takes off, throws on the run, complete to White down to the 18-yard line. Kovacs, the leading tackler a year ago and second in the Big Ten with 116 stops, made that tackle, but Jordan White open again.
Again, there's no pressure coming from the defensive line. Carter breaks the pocket. Jordan White, he's got tons of confidence in him. Remember, this White caught 94 passes last season.
Drake carries the ball down to about the 6. Another good block from the backup tight end Clark Mussman. When they go to a 2 tight end set, he's in there. And you can already see why.
Greg Madison, defensive coordinator, is going to have to come up with some kind of different look and scheme to create.
Happening in there. First and goal, Western.
And Carter looks left, pressure coming, throws to White underneath, and White side.
Madison, though, as he told us, he's got a playbook that's a foot thick if he needs it, right? But he can only call and put in what they can grasp and understand.
Exactly.
And there are bits and pieces to it. Now, make no mistake about this. Greg Madison knows football and is an outstanding coach. And he will eventually have a much thicker playbook to call to confuse offenses.
Well, he said the other day he took some out because it was just too much. And you've got to have guys being able to digest everything you tell them and play with speed instead of thinking about it. Right now, they may be thinking too much. Tied at 7, second quarter.
Western Michigan knocking on the door. We apologize for the technical problems we have had here at the Big House. Had a lot of people working on them very hard. Carter has Tevin Drake behind him. Drops to throw, pressure coming, ball tipped in the air, intercepted by Michigan, picked off by Brandon Herron, the linebacker, and he's got a convoy. Brandon Herron, 94 yards. Pressure on a quarterback makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Boy, I tell you what, you talk about him stepping up. The freshman comes in, number 90, Jake Ryan, delivers the deflection, and this is where he stays in bounds. There's Brandon Herron and that defense stepping up. Bend, don't break.
And Herron is gassed. You can understand why. Gibbons for the point after. Western Michigan on the verge of taking a 7-point lead. Instead, they trail by 7.
That's the kind of play early in the season that can help build confidence in a unit that goes and grows for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
You reflect back on that. You're being outplayed. Alex Carter is eating them up. They're running the football. They're doing all that they want to do. And you get a freshman, Jake Ryan, 6'3", 230, a very physical guy. Usually the coaches say better in the running game. Comes through, bull rush, gets up and makes the deflection. That's either a 10 or a 14-point swing right there.
You think right now Greg Madison is saying that's the way Ray Lewis used to do it.
Well, that defense now, though. They're going to have to reload and get back out on that football field, right? So they better get a quick cup of water.
And really, they have not been able to stop the Western Michigan offense. They did with this interception. That was a big play on the tip. But Western Michigan got a touchdown and then missed a field goal on another long drive. So the day's work is not over. Wallace and Winchester are deep. Wallace from the 7. Runs into traffic shy of the 30-yard line and goes down there. So now Carter will start from just shy of his own 30. You can tell why people thought he was going to be one of the best quarterbacks around. And Michigan steps up with Heiniger, the defensive end. And then Black comes from the other side. So they have been energized by that interception and touchdown return.
Yeah, but watch their hands and watch the movement that they have and getting rid of the blocks. They've stayed the course, and you see them fill in the lanes. You know, that's that right there, getting off and being more aggressive at the point of attack.
Carter, another tip. And it falls just in front of Kenny Demmons.
Heininger, number 39, making a couple of plays in a row. Now what you got to learn as an offensive lineman, play through it. You got to keep the guy's hands down in front of you.
Blitz coming. Carter hangs in the pocket, throws incomplete. What a stand by the Michigan defense.
That's a stand by that defense who just had to come right back on the field after that long return intercepted for a touchdown. So that's a big deal. That's coming off confidence, turning a play in and getting a touchdown by your unit.
Potter will kick, or Armour rather, and Gallen is deep. Pretty kick. Gallen driven back to his 22, lost his footing, went down past the 25. 48-yard kick, 3-yard return. Denard Robinson and the offense will take the field again when we come back. Now let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. We're at the Big House in Michigan, 109,000 plus on hand, and they have certainly seen a lot of offense so far. Alex Carter, really the last 2 possessions, the only time he has done anything wrong at all. Denard Robinson 6 out of 7, Carter 14 out of 18, but he did have that big interception return for a touchdown, which, by the way, the longest touchdown return in modern Michigan history. That means since 1948, and it was their first touchdown return on an interception for a score since 2009. Michael Shaw is the running back with Denard Robinson, and he'll get the carry on the sweep. Well, you see the speed of Western Michigan as they just wouldn't let him get outside. Nice tackle by Lewis Toller, who was a freshman All-American designated by Rivals.com last year, so he is a very talented young player.
But this is the last series Michigan had 3 and out. That defense and that defensive line has been playing soft and trying to keep Robinson in front of him. It's time to run the ball, make them get aggressive.
Robinson under center after spending 2 years in the spread offense. He had been under center in high school, so it's not totally foreign to him. And here is Shaw. Western Michigan has already shown they can play with these guys. There is A lot of fight in this ball club. Robinson back, throws, first down. Nice toss to Gallen. Denard Robinson is not just a runner. The coaches said they were surprised how good a passer he was when they started installing this offense.
Well, throughout camp in the summer, they have charted his progress, and he's completed right at 70% of them. And what he has done is when he drops and he puts that foot in the ground, that right foot, he delivers, knows exactly where the ball is supposed to go. Much more accurate than Al Borges thought he was going to get as a quarterback.
Vincent Smith checks in at tailback. They'll start this series from the 43. Play action by Robinson. Throws underneath. A lot of contact. That's going to be interference. It looked like it might have been inadvertent, but Petway ran into the tight end Brandon Moore and draws a flag.
Well, they say, and that's what Cubitt's trying to say, is it's inadvertent.
And it was.
It was. Absolutely. But it's a nice job acting.
It's mandatory for athletes, isn't it?
Well, they're getting a lot better at it.
Smith. It's the kind of power football they wanted to see return to the University of Michigan football program.
And until that gets back to what we just saw there, that play, that is Al Borges' offense. High formation, power football, which sets up the play action. Then you look at the pocket presence, and you can decide. We haven't seen that happen yet in this game.
Three minutes, 45 seconds to go, first half of play. Michigan's offense has scored a touchdown. Michigan's defense has scored a touchdown. And it's 14-7 Wolverines. Robinson throws behind his intended target Roundtree, but he made a nice catch. The other thing about Robinson, when we had a chance to visit with him the other day, he is such a nice kid. You really want to root for him.
Absolutely. Very good young man. Watch the footwork or lack of on this. You know, this is under center taking a snap. He just kind of comes back and just kind of leaves his body behind him. He's not stepping in there and letting it go. Those are the things Al Borges will work on. But that's the challenge. That's the growth from under center dropping back 5.
This time they'll run it out of the shotgun, and Toussaint will pick up about 9. That offense looking a lot more efficient now. Are they starting to wear down that defensive front?
You know, Western Michigan's offense has been on the field quite a bit. I think you've just seen that there was one batted pass that's been the difference in this game. Not a bad throw, a batted pass, an interception, and it's the other way. That's the difference in this game.
Last run enough for a first down. Toussaint remains in as the tailback. Play action by Robinson. Chased out of the pocket. Stays on his feet. Slips a tackle. Slips another one. And down to the 10-yard line. Gain of 12 out of nothing. Freddie Bishop, the defensive end, missed him. Then Matt Zajac, normally a very short tackler and middle linebacker, missed him. That's what Denard Robinson does to you.
Well, this is something that you just can't coach. Ryan Lindley couldn't do this at San Diego State for Al Borges. And this is one of the things that Borges doesn't want to do, and taking away that athleticism, that natural ability that he has. Robinson can put that 4-3 on you in a second.
Shaw. Another missed tackle. Shaw taken out of bounds. The miss was by Aaron Winchester, the converted running back. And then a personal foul will come at the end of this play.
I like the play call. I like getting into space, the open field here with Mike Shaw in space, because he can make guys miss. And then Bozeman just comes across clearly out, and he's got to pull up and leave him alone.
First and goal. Toussaint. Touchdown. Toussaint, who had an excellent spring, gets his second rushing touchdown of the opener.
Now this is Michigan football right here. When you've got two tights, fullback, I formation, Michigan way. This is championship. When you get short yardage goal line, you can go get big. You got a quarterback under center. I like that.
Gibbons is on for the point after. And that's blocked. Picked up by Western Michigan, but they won't be able to do anything with it. A 74-yard drive that was paid off in the 9th play by Toussaint with that scoring run. The block extra point makes it Michigan. and more. Well, this has been a very entertaining ball game. Brady and Smith are deep. Good kick. Grady 7 yards deep. He's going to bring it out. After the hesitation, he who hesitates is normally taken down inside the 20-yard line. Michigan may be content to take this lead to the locker room, and Denard Robinson will take a knee. Some of the fans don't like that, but they are going to like the fact that they're going to go to the locker room with a 20-10 lead.
Mike, I don't think that the fans, not all of them, can truly appreciate how good of a quarterback and team this Western Michigan unit is. Many have picked that think that they have a chance to win the MAC. And so coming in on an opening day like this, brand new coaching staff, Michigan's look good, done well.
And certainly you can tell the changes that they have made offensively and defensively are changes that are going to bode well for the future of this program. That's the end of a very entertaining first half. And Michigan will go into the locker room for the first time under Brady, Hoke with the lead, 20-10. And Denard Robinson, very impressive throwing out of that pro-style offense. Let's go to Janine Edwards. Janine?
Well, Brady, it looked like it took your defense a little while to settle in, but gosh, now they're bringing pressure, and that interception by Heron, what kind of an impact have they had, and especially this second quarter?
Well, I think they played a little better in the second quarter, but we're still not playing near the defense we need to play. And you know, I give Western Michigan and Alex Carter a lot of credit, but we're not playing the way we need to play Michigan defense, not even close.
On the other side of the ball, Denard Robinson operating a new offense. How comfortable or uncomfortable do you think he's looked?
I think he looks good. I think, you know, watching him and in and out of the pro set and some of the spread offense and he's thrown the ball well, so I like what he's done.
Okay, Coach, we'll see you second half. Thanks. Michigan once. He said, we came here with an uncertainty, and we're finding out that, you know what, they're not all that much better than us right now. The key, we need to finish drives. That is priority number one. And he did tell me, his players told him, they think they're winning the heat exhaustion battle. They're seeing some stress on the Michigan side.
Well, we'll see what happens later in this ball game, certainly from that case. Grady out across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And what a first half for Jordan White. 9 catches, almost 100 yards just in the first half. But this was the play of the game, wasn't it?
Absolutely the play of the football game, because the Western Michigan's about to go up by 7. The deflected pass, Heron's there to get it.
You know, what we're asking you to do is not make miracles.
They'll move it out to the 41. The personal foul is a call. So good field position to start. Fitzgerald Toussaint, the running back with Denard Robinson, called run for the quarterback, trying to follow his blocker. That was his center, David Molk, who's on the Remington list as the best center in the country, and he led him outside for about 4 yards. There will be planned runs for Denard Robinson. They're not scrapping that running concept for the quarterback, but they're trying to blend it with the passing game.
Well, the rain has started to come down, and the weather will impact the second half.
It is now coming down in buckets, and we understand we are having technical difficulties.
Perhaps because of that, Robinson being chased, throwing on the run, that one is tipped and incomplete. There was bad weather out to the west. It has arrived. They have already told people with a lightning, and there's supposed to be lightning in these storms, that they will evacuate the stadium if the lightning strike is within 6 miles. Where do you put 109,000 people?
Can't hide them.
It is just coming down in buckets. Robinson again, the blitz coming. He throws incomplete, and he's thrown a wet ball twice. Neither one has been close.
But you know what, Mike? I tell you what, he'll look at it, and I'm not so certain that he's going to be happy with the results of that right there. You know, yes, they had the blitz. The blitz was picked up in time for him to have a much better ball thrown to his wide receiver. And what this does, though, in the second half, if the rain is as it's predicted to be and what it's doing right now, the one it's going to really impact is Western Michigan, because that's their bread and butter with Alex Carter throwing that ball.
Matt Wild to punt. Jordan White waits inside his 15-yard line. Line drive kick. White trying to keep his balance. Out to the 13-yard line, taken down there. A 5-yard return. John McColgan, the fullback, makes the tackle. Alex Carter, who threw for 135 yards in the first half, starts his offensive second half when we come back. Welcome back to Michigan. Right now, the officials conferring with a member of the Michigan event staff. They were concerned about lightning in the storm system that hit us. It was literally raining sideways for a couple of minutes. The sun is back out now. Over the horizon, white puffy clouds and blue skies. Behind us, a torrential downpour. Looks like we're in Miami and not Michigan. And the booing is because they have just postponed the game or suspended it, let me say it that way.
As the sun returns to midfield.
And sun is shining, players casting shadows as they leave. Any lightning detected within a 6-mile area of the stadium means they are going to suspend the game. Janine Edwards has more from the sideline. You must be drenched already.
Yeah, kind of. I just kind of ducked under cover here, so I hope my RF mic will work under here. But the lightning, the bad cell is within 20 miles. And if it is within 20 miles, they will take everybody off the field. We're getting announcements now throughout the facility to look for shelter. And they even told us before the half that if the bad cell came, that the best shelter would be in your car, believe it or not. There are tornado warnings north of here that don't look like they will affect us, but there is a bad system just south of here, and they're hoping that the two don't merge.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Thank you, Janine. And find some shelter down there for yourself. We don't want you exposed on the field.
Well, I tell you what this does is for Western Michigan, because of their passing offense and that being their bread and butter, not having to play in a driving rainstorm right now, especially early in the third quarter to start the second half, is a plus for them. I know Michigan would have preferred for them to stayed out there and played in the rain, but the lightning is a completely different animal that you have to respect.
Exactly. All right, we are suspended here with Western Michigan and Michigan just into the opening minute and 1 second of the third quarter. We're going to take a break. When we come back, you'll hear from John Saunders and Jesse Palmer, and they'll catch you up to date on everything in college football. Stay with us. At some point, we'll be back. Welcome back to the University of Michigan, where the Wolverines are leading Western Michigan 20-10. We have been in a weather delay for about 25 minutes. And boy, when it came in, it came in. It was raining sideways. They decided to evacuate the stadium, 109,000 people. Got everybody out of here, and just about the time they got everybody out of here, the weather cleared, and they started bringing everybody back. So we have only played 1 minute and 1 second of the second half.
That was a big deal.
Well, it's not raining now, and that is probably...
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Repeat, a severe...
...is basically throwing the football. And instead of just having a sustained rainstorm for the next couple of hours, it came in and left quickly. And now they'll be able to play with a dry football. It's 1st and 10 for Western Michigan at their own 13-yard line. Alex Carter is the quarterback. Delayed handoff to Drake. Boy, that's good news for everybody. And you're not just talking about players. I mean, band members and cheerleaders and all those sort of folks. White makes the catch, and he's stopped by J.T. Floyd. They need to reach the 23 for first down.
This also gave both teams' players a chance to go in and hydrate, because it was hot,
yes,
as Janine told us. And so they went in and they were able to let their bodies cool down and to bring some water to it and some liquid. So hopefully that helps both teams' players through the second half.
3rd down and 4. Four-man rush, and guess who? White. He has been sensational out at the 27-yard line. 11 catches on the day for Jordan White.
And unless Michigan blitzes in the middle, which they did in the series before halftime, Carter's been able to find his guys. It's
sure
pitch
has.
and catch. He is an extremely accurate quarterback. So I think Michigan needs to make sure that they are trying as best they can to move the pocket.
White with the majority of the catches. That was nearly a disaster as Tevin Drake had the ball pop up in the air, got it back.
They were able to avoid the disastrous play in the first half. Western Michigan, when they play BCS schools, has been notorious for having the one boo-boo play that takes them out of a ball game. That was almost one of those disastrous plays.
That was almost boo-boo right there. Carter goes under center, changing the play. Drake is asking him what it was. I don't think he had any idea what they changed it to. And now the officials are going to blow it dead.
I think Bill Cubitt got timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Western Michigan.
And they do give him the timeout, so they use one of their 3 precious timeouts with 11:37 to go in the 3rd quarter. That could be big down the road.
I want to go back and talking about big down the road in this game and down the road. The pressure that Michigan's defense, when they finally did get to Alex Carter, he got him on the first one on the blitz. The next 3 blitzes made him move his feet, broke up his rhythm, and Michigan's defense was able to get off the field. So that pressure up the middle of the field is something I think they need to get back to.
They went outside with every one of those throws. One of the adages of playing against the blitz is you throw to where the blitz came from. They blitzed up the middle. The center of the field was wide open, but nobody ran a pattern there. So now 2nd and 12. Carter had a great start and has cooled off in a lot of ways because of that Michigan pressure. Carter under pressure, and Van Bergen got him from behind. Kenny Demmons helped out as well. Van Bergen and Martin, the defensive tackles this year, and they think that is a real good part of this defense.
Now, the reason they were able to get to Carter is because the Michigan secondary locked up all the receivers. There was no option for Carter, and he's got vision. He's shown that through the day. If you're open, he's going to find you. Nobody there on that play.
Martin got a piece of him at the end. Martin was about the only guy on this defense that anybody worried about a year ago. He was just terrific. Carter again. Perfect strike this time to Caleb Ravenel. Ravenel won the starting wide receiver spot opposite Jordan White. He beat out Ansel Ponder on the outside, and he has played well in this game.
Well, Ravenel is just one of those players. You see him come out of his break. He's right where he's supposed to be. He didn't round it. He was right on time and on target. That's the precision that we've seen in this passing game today.
If you give Carter a window to throw through, he can do it. blow this play dead. Looked like there was a false snap.
Illegal snap. Offense. Number 67. 5-yard penalty. It remains.
Terry Davison,
first
who
down.
was going to be the starting right guard and had to move to center because Kevin Gallagher got a broken foot.
Just a little bit of a hitch in the giddy up there.
Another long yardage situation, 1st and 15. Blitz coming. Carter trying to run. Got maybe a yard and a half before Kenny Demmons made the tackle. And what a future that young man has in professional football. He is absolutely the prototype pocket passer that league is looking for. Carter. Oh, man, he was unloaded on, lost the football. Picked up by Herron, and Brandon Herron, who earlier had a 94-yard interception return, has a 28-yard fumble return. Jordan Kovacs with the kill shot on Alex Carter. Boy, did he light him up. Boy, Herron knows what to do with it if he gets his hands on it, doesn't he? I'm amazed that Carter got up that fast. He was smoked. And the point after is good. Brandon Herron writes his name in the Michigan record books.
Thunder and lightning finally struck here at the stadium. You talking about a Michigan guy. They call him, he's a perfect Michigan guy. Led the defense in tackles last year. Kovacs comes in, and the blitz, again, being effective against this Western Michigan offense. That's 14 points for the defense today.
12 of them for Brandon Herron.
Well, if you sit back against Alex Carter, he's proven he's going to get you. And so this defense today, Greg Madison, each time that he sees success with something, he keeps going back to it. He's going to dial it in until you stop it.
Huge play by Kovacs to force the fumble. And Herron comes out with it for the touchdown. Now 27-10. Now it is a real test for Western Michigan. Can they come back from this as it has begun to rain again? But they have had one tip return on an interception for a touchdown, one fumble return. Very easy to get down at this point. Let's see how much fight they have left in them. Wallace and Winchester are deep. Wallace from the 5. Across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Let's take a look at today's good hands play. Brought to you by Allstate.
Well, I would say that Brandon Herron gets a couple of plays in on this deal here. A nice job by the freshman doing a job of getting the ball up in the air with Jake Bryan. And Brandon Herron, I guess he recovered enough from that play. We wondered. He needed the delay to recover from the long run. But he's at the right place at the right time because he's hustling. And when you're around the football, good things can happen on defense.
Well, what a day. It's going to be an afternoon he will remember for the rest of his life. Carter gives it off to Ponder.
You know, to answer your question, Mike, can they come back? Yes, absolutely. It's 27-10. You know, one score, it's 27-17. You're back in the game. And with a quarterback who can throw it, you're there. But how do you get back? Your offensive line has got to pick up the blitz. You got to expect it now. In the huddle, he's got to be telling the front guys, expect it's coming. Receivers expect that there's going to be a blitz, and you got to get open for me quick.
Well, it looked like there was motion there, and there was, as Drake got an early start. You know, you got to give Greg Madison some credit for this. The first drive, Western proved that they could move the ball, went the length of the field because Michigan was laying back in a bend-don't-break kind of format. Then they moved the ball again, missed a field goal. And at that point, I think he said, all right, I've seen enough. We're going to go get them. And it's worked.
Greg Madison's been to a few rodeos.
Yes, he has. Western Michigan starting to make mistakes and putting themselves in long yardage situations. Blitz coming. And Carter goes down again. And it's the strong safety, Jordan Kovacs again.
Here's how you work in unison on a blitz on defense to make it effective. If you have good pressure but no coverage, you're in trouble. Look up top. Carter looks to go to somewhere, and he's got no option. Good bracket job up top, taken away. Ravenel, and Carter has to then revert, change those eyes, and as soon as you do that against the blitz, you're going down.
Same blitz, same side, same result. Kovacs was second in the Big Ten last year, had 116 tackles. Certainly they don't want him to have that many. And here's another mistake.
Coming again. Delay a game. Offense. Number 14. 5-yard penalty, and it remains
really going
second
downhill
down.
right now for the Broncos. Let's check. All right, having a microphone problem. We'll get back to Janine as soon as we can. Carter again. This time he wants the screen to Drake. Drake lost his footing, or he had a chance to break that for big yardage.
But that's the beauty of that play right there. A smart call by Western Michigan. Get back into doable, manageable, somewhere that you got a shot at it on 3rd and 13, 14. And you're right, this is a critical part of the game here about not losing your composure. Because at some point, Denard Robinson's going to get his offense back on the field. The defense won't be the only one scoring.
Absolutely. You cannot expect to hold Michigan for the rest of the game at 27. You're going to have to outscore.
Got him thinking now. Look up here at the top and see all this action going on, making him think back there.
Blitz coming. Carter hangs in, has this tipped by Kovacs. 3 big plays in the last 2 series.
You saw the cat and mouse taking place over there. It looks like he's coming. Kovacs drops out into coverage, into the passing lane. They finally have disrupted the head and the rhythm. Beautiful job of getting out in the right lane there by Kovacs. He's having a heck of a ball game.
You said cat and mouse. Well, the cat won again. Armour to punt to Gallen. High floater. Gallen fair catch at the 12. Michigan's defense has stepped up in the second half and made life tough on Alex Carter. Here. Michigan's offense has only generated 17 points, but they barely had the ball, and now they come out of the gate with Shaw. And Michael Shaw, 42 yards.
Well, they haven't had it much, but, they've taken advantage of what they've had. This is just a huge hole. That's poor execution on Western Michigan's part, making them pay for it, and Toussaint sees it. Again, this is just a lack of execution on defensive part. Now, the big play, that's the first big play we've seen Michigan's offense have today.
Well, when you run 30 of the 42 yards without anybody within 5 yards, blocking's been pretty good and the defense has been pretty bad. That pass is incomplete. intended for Dilio.
Kind of deal. So this is important for them. They need snaps and reps. It's time for the offense to work their reps.
Again, a huge hole for Shaw, and he's gone. Holy cow, nobody in the middle of the field. Michael Shaw, 44 yards after a 42-yarder earlier in this series. Well, do you like the offense a little better now? That's 2 runs for 84 yards.
Well, I don't know. Were they going against any one of those last 2 plays?
Nobody in the middle.
And you know what? That's great play calling. Go right back to it. If you can't stop it, keep dialing it up.
Nice block by Schofield. Gibbons on for the point after. And Michigan here in the second half has established what I think most Michigan fans would say has been missing for the last 3 years. They have established physical dominance over the other team.
Al Borges wants to have a running game, a powerful running game. He and Brady Hoke know that in order for them to be successful, they've got to be tough there as well. They're looking for that one guy to run the football. They came into this ball game and they had 2 guys, Shaw and Toussaint. It might end up being for the season that 2 equals 1. When you get that kind of blocking and execution up front, Michael Schofield, 75, filling in for the starter, Ricky Barnum. He does his job coming around blocking Bozeman. So I'm okay in today's world with 2 equal 1 from the tailback position. You know, and in the Big Ten, as tough and physical as it is, having Shaw and Toussaint and Vincent Smith, another guy. So
that's right.
They're not starving or looking for talent. They're looking for production.
And the more they run, the less Denard Robinson is exposed to injury.
You know, and especially right now here in game 1, it is about execution. Everybody's getting to know each other, the coaching staff, the players under fire. You mentioned it earlier in the game, Mike, that Denard missed and didn't finish 10 of 12 games last year. He's not a big guy.
Right.
And so this is one that, you know, they hope to get out of the way and have some success.
It is also not counterintuitive to say in October and November in Michigan, at Ohio State, up here in cold weather, you need a power running game. Here's the return by Wallace. He's had a couple of good ones today. Knocked out of bounds past the 35.
Isn't it cold here now? It's dropped 50 degrees.
50 degrees. And
severe thunder.
Boy, and Kovacs has taken advantage of him, Janine, and laid a couple of real hard licks on Carter. Pressure coming again, and Carter forced to throw quickly. Jake Ryan, number 90, coming off the corner right in his face. Ryan, you'll remember, in the first half was a guy who got in his face, caused the tip that resulted in a touchdown on an interception.
I like his body size and makeup. You know, at 6'3" or 4, he looks like he's a lanky kind of a guy. He's got some speed to him. They've said, as a coaching staff, he's really good against the running game. So there's upside. Just get lined up in the right spot first of all, then you can make a play.
Here's movement up front, and it's the tight end Dallas Walker, and really they have just lost their concentration here in the second half.
Number 11.
And I'll say something about Alex Carter.
It remains.
You give this kid protection, he can beat you. But there's not a quarterback in the world that can have somebody in his grill play after play who's going to hurt you.
No, they definitely got to his mind late in the second quarter when they came with the blitzes, and it was effective. And then it took away from Western Michigan's offensive line.
Rain getting a little heavier, and they'll go to the ground with Drake. And Tevin Drake taken down just a little bit shy of a first down, it appeared, by Kovacs and Brandon Herron, the 2 stars defensively in this ballgame.
So as you look ahead here for Michigan's defense in the second half and what's left of it, every snap is another evaluation snap for Greg Madison and that defensive staff. Are they in the right position? Are they doing their job and their responsibility?
Wasn't that a lot of it last year? Guys were not in the right spot.
Absolutely. They'd be good, and a big play.
Carter on a little half roll to protect himself. What a catch by White. This kid's going to make somebody a nice possession receiver if anybody in the NFL gives him a chance. But he touches it, he catches it.
94 receptions last season. You saw the discipline right there. Again, another good job of the receivers. When they do the out, it's a flat out. It's not drifting out. And Carter has confidence obviously in Jordan White. And this football team, if they don't, if they take it in the proper perspective, they're going to be strong when it comes to conference play in the MAC.
White, 12 catches, 119 yards. Drake, nice cut to get free. Across the 45 to the 44. And Marvin Robinson, the backup strong safety, made the tackle. Drake finished last season very, very strong, back-to-back 100-yard games, had 405 yards rushing, which led this team, and it's something that Bill Cubitt and his offensive staff wanted better running this year, more balance in the offense. And Drake getting the bulk of the work in the last few series. Another carry. He's got the first down to the Michigan 39-yard line. I love Kellen Moore. I think that guy is just about as good as it gets.
He is. And that's why I think that they'll do very well in this game against Georgia. He's
Me too.
Proven and all that. And he's got, and I keep saying Doug Martin, their great runner. He's a powerful, physical guy who could do a nice job if he played in the SEC.
Here's a loose ball, and it is pouring down. Michigan says they've got it. No sign from the official. Now they do have it. And it's Ryan Van Bergen who comes out with the ball. I thought for a second it was going to be Heron again. He's gotten every other loose ball.
This is just a function of the rain, and they were moving a little bit quicker, trying to get in there.
When you lose your concentration, as to me they obviously have, everything goes wrong. If you're not focused, it's very hard to play this game. Well, the sun's out and it's pouring. We have really had some strange weather since we have been in Michigan. Underthrown but complete down to the 38-yard line. The catch made by Hemingway. Denard Robinson underthrew him by a couple of steps, but Lewis Toller couldn't recover.
Hemingway was the go-to guy last season, averaged over 19 yards a reception. Denard Robinson knows that and respects it. You got the drop. Let's look at the rhythm. 1, 2. He saw number 2 was the guy to go to in the middle of the field. Did what Al Borges said. All right, let it go.
This is a pretty good coaching staff they put together up here, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Now the rain is coming from the other direction, as they've got Toussaint back in as a wide receiver. And I mean, you can't see the horizon now out to our right. So we have had rain coming directly sideways from the left, and there was a big-time lightning bolt. Jeez.
Ball security here. We just saw Western Michigan not take care of it. Now it's up to Michigan. It's a good learning experience.
Toussaint again. Cuts it outside. First down. You know, I'm not worried about ball security right now, Craig. I'm worried about grabbing a 1-iron and running.
Well, if you grab a 1-iron, I'm not running with you.
Holy smokes.
But from a player's standpoint, when you get in a position like this and it's adverse, it's all about learning. You know what I mean? You're thinking, well, if you've got the 1-iron in your hand again, get away from me. What lightning.
Robinson. Buried as he got inside the 25-yard line. Well, the rule is if there's a lightning strike within 6 miles, the game has to be suspended. And if that first one wasn't within 6 miles, I don't know what 6 miles is. And now they're going to call it.
Well, in the old days, when I was growing up, you used to count between the strike and then the thunder, right? Mississippi, 5 seconds was 1 mile.
Yeah, well, there was almost nothing between that lightning strike and you saying 1 Mississippi.
Pausing the game for 30 minutes.
So we are going to have another delay, minimum 30 minutes. Crowd doesn't like it. But folks, if you want to sit on metal seats during a lightning storm, you go right ahead. For my part, I think they're doing the right thing. Brady Hoke said he waited for this day forever. Well, they're giving him a long day.
They're giving him one of them forever days.
We've got 1:27 to go in the third quarter, but we don't know when we're going to start again. When we come back, John and Jesse will join you from the studio and update you on the world of college football.
Well, guys, I can tell you this has been the most confusing last 2 minutes that I've ever spent on a football field. Some of the Michigan coaches and assistants just came out here onto the field, and they were under the impression that this game was going to resume. Greg Madison, Fred Jackson, both assistants under Brady Hoke, said, hey, Brady told us to get back out on the field. Well, they got some wrong information, and actually event staff didn't even know what was going on. They've been asking me what's going on. The game is officially called. The game is done. The final score that was with 1:27 left in the third quarter stands. Michigan wins. We've got up on the tote board here the radar, and it's just an assembly line of thunderstorms coming through. The rain is picking back up again. So for the first time in history, Michigan is having a game canceled, and it was only ever the second rain delay ever. So for the first time in history, Michigan has had to cancel a football game. Guys?
Well, Janine, that